Okay, so this week is part 2 of phonics that we started last week, so we'll continue on with that. Thank you to everybody who wished me well because I was very sick last week, so I'm doing a little better this week. Thanks for thinking about me, everybody. Let's talk a little bit about what a proficient student looks like, a student who is proficient in phonics. They are learning to convert letters into recognizable words, and this requires them to have a working knowledge of changing sounds that they hear into actual letters and making knowable words. They also start to learn patterns in words, how words are usually set up, like CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant, or silent E. Those are all rules for phonics that students learn. And they learn how to use these patterns to make recognizable words. They also learn, as they're mapping sounds into print, they're using their vocabulary so that they're using the knowledge that they have about vocabulary words to make recognizable words. And they learn that even if words aren't real, the patterns that are there help them, sound out nonsensical words or real words. The problem is that we then have those non-proficient students who are not doing well in phonics, and they may say things like, I just get stuck when I have to read all the words in the chapter. Figuring out what these words are is really hard for me, and so I don't know what everything means because I was just sounding it out, or I don't know how to sound out these words. My daughter's frequent complaint was always, I can't read. I don't know how to read. And so she wouldn't even try. As a teacher, what you're looking for in non-proficient students are students who have difficulty matching sounds to letters. And that can really affect the way they read and the way they spell. Decoding, so sounding out those words, is really labored and time intense for them. It takes a lot of time. They have a lot of trouble reading or spelling, even phonetically. They have problems with phonetic activities, phonics patterns and phonics activities. They have trouble with that, and they guess at a word after looking at just the first few letters. So when we have students who have trouble with phonics, we turn to assessment so that we can see how the students are doing. For informal assessment, the most used, most essential tool out there is called a running record. And what that is when a student reads orally a passage that you have set out for them, and you mark the words that they make mistakes on. Now, there's error analysis and all this, but a basic running record is just looking at the mistakes that a student makes while reading. Oftentimes, these are called informal reading inventories because teachers tend to do them on the fly. We don't have a lot of time, so we're getting students to do this while we're doing other things. We look at how many mistakes they've made to determine whether the passage they've read is at their independent level, at their instructional level, or at their frustration level. So what that means is if I've read a passage and my percentage of words correct is 95% or better, that is my independent reading level. That means I can take that passage, read it, and use it independently. If my percentage is 90 to 94, right in there, that's an instructional level. That means with a teacher or with a tutor or a stronger reader, a student can read and access that reading passage. Anything below 90% is too difficult for the student to attack. So that's why we look at reading levels, so that we know what can we ask a student to do independently, what does he need to do with instruction from an instructor, and what is just simply going to be too hard for them. How you figure that out is pretty simple. You take the total number of words in the passage, you subtract the number of miscues or mistakes that they made, and get the number of words that they have read correctly. And then you divide that by the total number of words and you get a percentage. You get a decimal. Then you take it by 100 and that's the percentage. And that's basically doing a basic running record helps you inform your instruction as to what the student needs and where you can go to help them out further. For formal assessments, there are two formal assessments that are pretty similar to what we did for phonemic awareness. The first one is called the TOWRE test, TOWRE, the test of word reading efficiency. It's for students who are 6 to 24 years of age. It's given in two parts, where you do sight word efficiency, and you also do phonetic decoding efficiency, where students decode words based on patterns, and sight word efficiency is just where students read the sight words and tell you what they are. That's the first formal assessment. The other one that's widely used in schools is called DIBELS. It's K through 6. It's a test of early literacy skills, and in this case, for phonics, you're looking for alphabetic principles and knowledge is what that would be testing on. So we would use the results of our informal testing or formal testing if that was necessary, and we would design activities for our students to help them increase their phonics, their letter to sound writing ability. For this week, you do have a reflection due. So there are, the reflection will ask you to identify 5 different activities that you could use to help your students with phonics. So there are a number of them listed in the book. The You Try It activities are great phonics activities to put in your reflection. So there are a number of activities that you could use. But basically, what we look at is how is the student doing in this area of phonics. Then we test them, and we see how they're testing out. We use that testing to inform our instruction, and then we design activities to help strengthen their phonics use and knowledge. So basically, that's part 2 of phonics. I hope you all have a good week this week, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks. Bye.